Hi, I'm Shalini Bharadwaj. You all are watching ITV Networks Medically Speaking. The resurgence of coronavirus has among vaccinated individuals has raised a biggest concern. We have with us Dr. N.K. Ganguly, who is a former DG ICMR. Sir, my first question is, so do you think people are getting reinfection as well as infection even after getting inoculation? Do you think still vaccination is important?
Vaccination is important because vaccine protects even though the person may get an infection, the vaccine even then protects that person in a way that person doesn't get a severe infection, and the person is protected from hospitalization and dying. So this was a part of what was seen in the clinical trial also. Like the two vaccines in India, they were protecting up to 65 to 70%, and those who got infection, they had a milder infection. So when it has been enlarged around the globe, we are finding that these vaccines are still working against the mutants. Like British mutant, all the vaccines in US are working. AstraZeneca also works. Covaxin has not been tried abroad, but in vitro it also works. The Brazilian strain uh, also now there is a data that it works partially around 50% on others. South African strain is little problematic. In South African strain, the vaccines do not work to that efficiency. However, the uh, Johnson and Johnson's vaccine, where the trial was held in South Africa, it showed 50% protection there. So vaccination is important. But what is more important is that vaccination doesn't give you a license to go without mask. It doesn't give you a license to really gather into large gatherings and don't have distance, which is happening. Sometimes it is happening which is not in our control. It is happening in Kumbh Mela. It might happen in election rallies. It may happen in agitations which are happening at different places. It may also happen in people's irresponsible behavior in doing parties, these wedding sessions, famous wedding sessions in India. All of these could move into this. And again, because of the poverty, there are large marketplaces, etc. They are necessary for sustenance of poor and small farmers. So all of these are actually are driver of the infection. So there is no scope. We need to have a new normal in our life for future, where we will have to do our economic activities, but we will have to take care. Like if I want to open school, it has been seen that physical opening of school is necessary. You cannot hold it for indefinite period. Then we will have to make investment in school. We will have to create smaller classes, so we will have to hire more teachers.
We have to
We will
create
have
that kind of environment as well as
yeah,
infrastructure.
like small classes. Sometimes in our some of the schools, the class sizes are more than 100. Sometimes it is 200. So that is unsustainable. So you will have to break these classes into 30 students or so, because your classroom you can only segregate if there is a smaller number. So here we will have to hire more teachers, and we have to get the students for certain hours so that they can interact and learn from teachers. We will have to provide vaccination to teachers at least. We will have to provide PPEs to everyone there. We will have to also vaccinate the bus driver and those who are taking intimate care of children. And we need to sanitize the entire place and make it roomy and airy so that the children don't get infected. So these kind of investments are also necessary. We just can't tell schools that you do this and that, and they do not have money to do that. So all of these things we will have to carefully plan, like large marketplaces. We will have to spread it in a larger area. We might have to segregate each shop from one another. We also have to see that they are wearing masks and other things, and they are wearing gloves while they are selling their wares. So everything can be done, but it needs investment of money. It needs investment in scientific interventions. So vaccine protects, but vaccine doesn't give you a license for irresponsible behavior.
But that is for sure, sir, that if somebody gets infection even after inoculation, that doesn't mean that other person should not get vaccine. Sir, another thing is, sir, how many months immunity will work after if somebody gets vaccine?
Up to now, we have Pfizer data, which they have followed up very meticulously up to 6 to 7 months. So it is protecting up to 7 months. But these vaccines have recently been introduced. After a year, we will know whether it protects after a year or not. Up to now, it protects up to 7 months. That data is available.
Sir, are we getting reinfection cases also? And as ICMR has given new definition to reinfection, that it is low, but it is possible. What you would like to say about it?
And actually, normally vaccination endpoints were not that you will not have virus in your throat. Vaccination endpoints were freedom from disease and freedom from severe disease. This is how the vaccines went for trials. So when the samples were taken from vaccinated people have some virus. They carry virus with them. Only very few of them may have a larger virus load and they can transmit it. Most of them will not have large virus load. One more thing we need to understand. Many of the places with which I am associated, they are measuring antibodies. They are before, after the first injection, after the second injection, to see that how much antibody they are making. There are certain percentage who are not really making good antibodies. So these persons might need in future a booster.
And sir, why this is happening?
This is happening because every person is an individual. So immune response depends on age, depends on underlying conditions which you have, whether you are a diabetic, whether you are a kidney disease, whether you are immunosuppressed, whether you are old, all of these, and whether you are newborn or young. All of these respond differently, and the pregnant woman in pregnancy. All of these respond differently to the immune system. So it is a certain percentage of people who are of older age group. For every vaccine, it was seen that many of them were not making vigorous antibodies. But and now when people are getting vaccinated and people are looking at things, there will be a percentage who will not make good antibodies. So there will be, these persons will be vulnerable. So as the time goes, it is not possible to do antibodies on everyone. It is not practical because we have a large population, and the studies we have shown that these are the guys which in future we might get a policy that these are the guys where we may have to give a third booster sometimes, so that if they have not, if they are vulnerable, they do not remain vulnerable. T-cell immune responses could still be there when there are no antibodies. So we are also measuring T-cell responses to know that how long the infection in memory remains. From the Singapore, which had we vaccinated with the SARS-1, we know that the T-cell memory remains up to 2 years.
Okay.
So that is something which is very, very good, and we need to see that whether we will do some more research while we are vaccinating our country and come to certain conclusions for that.
Sir, at this point, are we doing these kind of research?
Yeah, we need a lot of research. It is not a question of that. While we are implementing the program to protect, we need a lot of, and research is being done constantly, and we are knowing a lot of things from research. Like one of the things from research we are knowing that we are, if you wear double mask, you are protected better. You are protected 85%. We also know that the 6 feet distance was recommended, but 3 feet also works. So they are also coming out of the research. We also know that there are some antibody responses which are more protective. There's a response known as IgA response. IgA response is also a good protective response. So we are knowing a lot of new things while we are going forward. And we also know that there are CD4 cytotoxic cells in the COVID, which are also good protective response to COVID. Previously, we knew it was only CD8. So we now know that what we should measure, and every day new information is coming up. So those who are working with messenger RNA vaccine, it is very easy for them to change the vaccine. So they have created second and third generation vaccine, taking into consideration the mutants. So these guys have already these things ready, and these are moving. Some more research have shown that that pregnant women, it is safe. Lactating women can take it. This is a new research, new finding. The new research have also shown that it can be given to children up to 12 to 15 years.
Okay.
And probably we will be able to give it to children from 2 years above easily. We have also research have shown that antibodies pass from mother to child. So when if mother is vaccinated, child will be protected up to 6 months minimum, because they will get it from mother.
Sir, but most of these research have been done by other countries. We need to do in India also, right, sir?
No, in India also research is being carried out. Some of the information has come from India. Now, India has its mutation data now. There are about 7,000 strains which have been analyzed, and we have some idea of the mutants which are circulating in India and which region what is circulating.
So do you think as of now we need to change our guidelines also? Because the
guidelines are constantly being changed. Like thinking is coming up, although it remains for vaccine availability. Thinking is coming up, like Mr. Biden has taken a decision that every eligible American who can take a vaccine according to the level, the vaccine is available. And there are some countries which have been able to immunize that 60 to 80% of their population. These countries are feeling very happy and very safe. Our population, the US has immunized about 25% of its population. It is moving faster. We have immunized 4.85% of our population. Although we have caught up, we are immunizing very large number of percent, but we are a very large country with a very large population.
And highly densely populated.
Yeah, and very densely populated. So, but the vaccine availability is a very big thing. So vaccine ingredients, which are very, very necessary, the Serum Institute is finding a problem in many of them were being imported from Europe. So there are some embargoes, some of them were being imported from the United States. So there are embargoes in exporting of some of these. And so through the global order, we need to see that vaccine company get their ingredients for manufacturing.
So do we have other choices for vaccines in future? Like you were talking about Johnson & Johnson vaccine, how this particular vaccine is going to benefit us?
The Johnson & Johnson vaccine has got one advantage, that it is giving one shot It is a one-shot vaccine. Although they are generating data for two shot, but one-shot vaccine is a tolerably good vaccine. It is protecting up to 80%, or sometimes even more. And Johnson Johnson is a safe vaccine. It could be stored in an ambient temperature, and it has worked against South African strain because one of the site of trial was in South Africa. So it has also worked in South Africa. So Johnson and Johnson will be manufactured by BioE under an agreement, and this vaccine will be available in India.
Thank you so much, sir, talking to us and sharing such an important information with Medically Speaking and NewsX, sir.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.